Hi guys, how are you? This is Mike here. It's the third part of the shit show of Novak Djokovic and the Australian Open. And the thing is that you know, uh, finally he got deported. Uh, it's kind of harsh because as I said before, as they said before, this is a fight against a guy who doesn't want to get vaccinated. It's like a witch hunt for the government. I don't think it's you know he's gonna as the Australian government and the federal judge uh, said that he's a problem for public health. It goes beyond that, because the thing with him is that the cases right now in around the world are higher than ever. The COVID cases and most of the people is vaccinated, so most of the cases are people vaccinated. It's people vaccinated. So I don't know what's gonna do with all of this. Most of the people said that the government didn't give him the permission. I'm sorry. There's a video with the Prime Minister Morrison talking about that. The exemptions were made. So the thing is that one thing also the government stated in court, it's that letting Djokovic stay in Australia risks making him an icon of free choice, and that's what most of the politicians don't want. They want you to obey, and this is the worst thing that can ever happen to the people, because they are gonna try to control your life. You're not gonna free at all. Do what the government said, or you will be in jail. Do what the government said, or you will prosecuted. You know, every the government, all the state is gonna go after you. Um, this is harsh, man. It's harsh because of because we're losing our freedoms. Okay, it's not about the vaccine, because if you check these, even right now, France and all the governments around the Grand Slams is telling that he can't play. And if you see COVID England, for example, where they play Wimbledon. See, the cases are rising, and now are going down again, but it's a peak. And does it has anything to do with that? And let's see France, because it's the other Grand Slam. Look at that. And if we go to the US, um, the US is the same peak. Look at this, New York, and most of the people is vaccinated. And Australia again. I'm going to the statistics. I don't care. No, because he lied. He lied. Really? The politicians are the worst liars in the world. And people are defending that. It's crazy. Look. It's the same thing. He's not responsible for that. State Victoria, where's Melbourne, and that's why I am defending the guys, and I don't care if he wants to get vaccinated or not want to get vaccinated. It's a free choice. To me, it seems that there's an agreement between the government and the big pharma, and someone is getting a lot of money. You know what? You know why? Because there's a girl who was telling, even Dana White, he was talking about the monoclonal antibodies, and nobody's talking about that. You should check about that. A girl even responded to that tweet saying that grandfather's his grandfather who's vaccinated, even with the booster, he went to the hospital because of COVID, and the only thing that saved him was the monoclonal antibodies, and nobody's talking about that. Weird, huh? That's the thing you have to look on. See, you need to check that. Why everything is that people is crazy about these vaccines? You know, it's weird. So you know, I think this is planned to humiliate that guy because he doesn't want to get vaccinated. There's a lot of stuff, because most of the people say he was lying, he was lying, he was lying, he was lying. He was lying. He got the exemption, and people say no, it's because of the Australia Tennis Association. It's not the Australian Tennis Association, because if you check the video, the Prime Minister Morris told people's gonna get the exemption. If he got the exemptions, it's good to go. And really, I don't see what the big deal is if he's not vaccinated. What the madness is when the cases are everywhere and every time rising. And it's not because of the unvaccinated people. So we have to we need to have common sense. Stop the madness. I'm telling you, people, please stop the madness. People is so scared with things that when people is so scared or so angry, worse decisions are made. With fear, with anger, the decisions you make, the decisions you make are the worst decisions ever, because you're not thinking. Okay, you're not thinking. You're letting, your feelings to decide for you. It's like being in love. When you take a decision, being in love, it might be the worst decision you can take. And you know why? Because even I have a friend who was very in love with a girl. The girl, used to hit him. The girl, he tried to run him over with the car, and yet he ended up marrying her. Of course, 2 years later, they divorced. But do you think he took a good decision being in love? No, I don't think took a good decision, because when people take decisions with the feelings and not with the brain, tend to take the worst decision ever. And he did it. He married a girl, and it ended up in divorce. That's it. Because most of the people are not using their brains because they're scared about the virus. I know it's difficult, but you cannot live in fear. People die from flu or whatever virus is in the ecosystems around the world, and I know it's hard. We've been through a very hard situation. I'm not saying it's easy, don't care. No, it's hard. It's not the end of the world. It's not gonna be the end of the world. We have to take 5, breathe, think, and don't let be dominated by fear, by anger. Do you think when the Germans, let Hitler arise and be the leader, their leader, they were angry. Do you think they took a good decision? No, it ended up in a war, in a World War II. That is why you cannot take decisions led by anger or by fear or because you're in love. Because it blocks your brain. Feelings blocks your brain. And you go to a state of survival and an animal state. And you cannot take decisions there. So, this is I need to say this because come on, dude. What are they doing to him is not good. It's not right. It's not correct. And and and, uh, and the world's pretty shit at this moment. Anyway, it's a big debacle. It's a disaster. I don't know how people cannot see that. It's an international tournament. It's not, you playing with the neighbors and amateur thing. It's a high performance athlete competition, and you need to be serious about it, and you need to have all the choices, because if you don't, you're being like, these times is the favorite words of the LGBT and all the thing is, it's like discrimination. I think it's discrimination. Why? It's discrimination because of this. If you see here, there's a rise in the cases. And if you check the cases, most of the people is vaccinated. So how can one man can make everybody sick? It's unthinkable. It's not gonna happen, man. Those guys has a lot of securities. Those guys has a lot of measures. They take measures. So even if you do a PCR every time for the length of the competition, you can check if he got COVID or not. That's it. But it's not gonna end up in millions of people contaminated with the virus because he's not vaccinated. Come on, man. Really? Are we gonna summarize to that? That simple? Really? It's not that. See, if you check and you think it's about something else, it's not about a vaccine or a pandemic thing. It's about liberties. But I guess most of the people don't want to see and say rules are rules. Rules of what? Most of the politicians break the rules every time. The rules they impose to us, they break they break those rules every time they fucking want, man. Are you for real? The people who's against this? Really? For me, it's discrimination. That's it. You have to do things in order people who thinks different can participate. No, because he doesn't want to get vaccinated. And what's the problem about that? Most of the people here are vaccinated, and they are sick and they're contagious people. They got the virus, and they're vaccinated. Some people with even the booster. How is it? Is not you don't see this is not a something have to do with money, man? Huh? Really? Most of the owners of the pharmaceuticals are finance companies. Do you think this is for the good of the people? Really? Because I think that it's not. They're not working for that. They're working for the dollars. Because if they're working for that, think of this. You they tell you that it's free. It's not free because the government pays for it. So if the government pays for it, that is taxpayers' money because the government doesn't have money. And if the government prints money to pay for those vaccines, it's gonna end up in inflation. Okay, so you're not. It's not free. You're paying for it. Um, so the pharmaceuticals earns money in the process, which is logical. I'm not. I don't. I'm not against earning money because of the work you do. The thing is that you cannot sue the company for adverse reactions. So it's the best business ever. Money from the government, earnings, and you cannot sue me if something goes south. Wow, I wish I had a business like that. It makes you make money so much easy, in the easiest way ever. Ask that to a restaurant owner. If you get sick, you will sue them, right? Because you went to the hospital because of them, and he might go to Yale. Does any pharmaceutical owner paying jail time for that? No. Funny though. And don't tell me with it's because of science. No, 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 no. I know science. That's why when you introduce a vaccine to the market, you have to be responsible for it, and you have to check for years that vaccine until you see it works and it doesn't affect people. This is not the case. Okay? So it's a money thing. You know, man, for everyone who wants to think another thing, I don't care. I'm just giving my point of view. I just giving you what I think. And if you think it's wrong, okay, man, you have your way of things. But I'm not telling you that you're wrong thinking that this COVID vaccine are gonna solve all the problems around the world. Okay, because of COVID, now we have people unemployed. Now we have people who enter, the poverty doors, and there are a lot of things about COVID. And the responsible is China, and nobody's doing something to make them pay. So, we want to see guilty people. The really guilty ones are not pointed at. That's a reflect. That's some thinking you gotta do there. That's it for today. Thank you very much. Goodbye. I hope you like. If you like, please subscribe, and if you like the video, hit like, and because I'm gonna be around for a long time here, raising my voice, standing up for the for what I think is right. If you think it's not right, well, you have your point of view, and I respect that. Goodbye.